Speaking of things that help get that stuff out the door, we mentioned this a number of times on the show, and Jason Schroeder over at jasonschroeder.com has put out a module for Progress Ring. So if you want to have a little progress ring that shows activity in your app, you can go over to his website. We'll put a link in the show notes, of course, but you can find a library over there, a module rather, that allows you to add a progress ring to your app in one line of code. Now,
yeah,
and I've mentioned it a number of times on the show, and everybody's probably like, yeah. Regulars are like, shut up, we know about it already. But it's really well done. If you haven't been over there, go check it out. He's got it's completely documented. He's got a not only the module itself, but a sample project that goes along with it that shows how it works. Just as you normally do, Ed, he's created a little sampler that shows all the different variations of things that you can adjust sliders and kind of get an idea of how the thing will react before you even use the code.
Yeah.
So I keep mentioning it because it's definitely worth taking a look. And every time that I mention it, Jason says, "Hey, thanks for the mention on the show." So we're going to try to get him on at some point and have him step us through the module and show us kind of what he was thinking and how he accomplished some of these things, and maybe what his plans are for it in the future. So
I wanted to point out. I'm glad you brought it up again, because he actually, not only has he done a good job on it, but he went back and said, hey, there's a small problem with this that people have encountered, and he fixed it. So he did something really clever in this, in which he generates dynamically a masking image to create the round, because what you need is a image to mask the circle to cut off the edges so it's visually pleasing. And the problem that people who wanted to do this before faced is some people wanted a ring that was like 100 pixels wide, other people wanted 80 pixels wide, or the radius to be, say, 40 pixels or 50 pixels. So they thought, well, I need a new mask for everyone. And I think he said, no, you don't need that. What you need is some way to create that mask on the fly. And so people should check out his the demo there and look really closely at the code and see what he did, because it was really bright. And it doesn't have to be, he did a circular mask, but the same technique could be used for any shape mask that you need in your game. So people who are out there, they're like, I really want to do this game, or I want to mask with an irregular shape, but I don't want to have to create every single mask by hand before the game ever, I want it to be dynamic. You can use his technique to do this. It's pretty brilliant.
Awesome. Well, I didn't even know.
He's got like bonus content in there. I forgot that. I wanted to say there's bonus content. It's like he doesn't even mention it, but you run his demo and there's a button at the bottom where you can change the color of the wheel, and you click it and up pops this beautifully implemented color picker. So I don't know if you remember seeing that, but I thought, wow, this is like a twofer.
I just didn't even think about it at the time, but yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, so it's another one of those things that people are always asking for. And I thought, wow, it's like he should have given himself 2 pats on the back for this one.
Split it into maybe he will after watching the show. He'll be like, hey, I'll split that out into a whole separate library and get another round of kudos.
I have to warn you, I've already stolen it and put part of it, I've abstracted it into SSK too. Don't worry, I've given credit where credit is due and linked back, but I did in fact take some of what he did there and reuse it.
You bring up a